When the Celtics traded for Porzingis and Jrue Holiday during last offseason, they joined a promising young duo that had great upside but had fallen short in their previous 2 seasons. 10 months later, the Boston Celtics are NBA champions, and a lot of the doubts surrounding this team's playoff aspirations were silenced. So how did they do it? If you ask me, Game 5 was a culmination of everything we've talked about in this series, and everything the Celtics have been this entire season. More on that in a moment. On the defensive end, the Celtics started out by picking up Luka in the backcourt, denying him easy catches and forcing him to receive the ball as far away as possible. Luka catches this pass at the TD Garden logo, and because of this, the best shot he can muster up is a contested step back 3. Here's another possession where JB picks Luka up in the backcourt, and even when he tries to split the pick and roll, Brown pokes it from behind and the aggressive ball pressure forces a turnover. And if these possessions look familiar to you, it's because we saw this happen back in Game 1, where JB picked up Luka in the backcourt, and his aggressive on-ball defense forced several turnovers and subsequently took Dallas out of their offensive rhythm. So, after a while, the Mavs had PJ Washington bring the ball up, so Luka didn't have to expend a lot of energy before the possession started. But the Celtics were aggressive with him and put several bodies on Luka away from the ball, still trying to deny him. This time it's Sam Hauser picking up PJ in the backcourt, and notice how Jrue and Jaylen Brown are almost hugging Kyrie, making sure he is bumped away from the play and has to work extra hard to get the ball. PJ Washington isn't a strong ball handler, and the Celtics knew that, so with Luka being face guarded by JB in the backcourt, Tatum smells blood. He picks PJ Washington's pocket here and gets a layup down on the other end. So, Dallas tried setting screens for Luka in the backcourt, but again, Boston has 2 defenders blitzing Luka when he crosses half court, and what's open for Dallas is a PJ Washington above the break 3 that doesn't go. And if that strategy looked familiar to you, it's because it's also what Boston was willing to concede to Dallas in Game 1 and for the rest of the series. This time it's Jrue Holiday who harasses Luka at the point of attack. He fights around multiple re-screens, and the Celtics help defenders swarm Gafford to blow up the short roll pass. Here's Jrue again, harassing Kyrie at the point of attack, and the Celtics force him into a difficult shot. Kyrie was only 5 of 16 from the field last night, and for the whole series, averaged just 20 points on 48% true shooting. Jrue is regarded by a lot of his peers as being the best guard defender in the league, and it's plays like this that show why. He rips Kyrie from his help defense position and goes coast to coast for an easy 2. And Jrue Holiday was the story of this game because on the offensive end, he had Dallas in a frenzy, slipping the pick and roll here to get behind the defense for a layup. Here it is again a couple minutes later, where he slips behind Luka and it's another easy layup in the short roll. These possessions had Dallas so paranoid. Watch this play. Jrue runs a DHO with Hauser in the corner. So 2 Dallas defenders jump out at the shooter, and Jrue slips behind the defense and finds a cutting Jaylen Brown for an easy dunk. So on the very next possession, they run the play again in the opposite corner, but this time PJ Washington is playing lower to prevent the slip, so Hauser can curl into a 3. The slip screens from Boston almost felt like a cheat code in this game. The Celtics look to get Kyrie in the action, but when Horford screens and gets the switch, Dallas scrams Kyrie out of the play into the corner. So then Hauser sprints up to bring Kyrie back into the play, but it's actually a ghost screen that confuses the defense and he drains another 3. Another aspect of this game that really stuck out to me was Jrue's cutting and rebounding. When Tatum drives, Lively helps out from the baseline, so Jrue cuts to the middle of the floor, which forces Lively to pick him up, and the spacing rebalances for Boston, and Tatum draws free throws. Jrue's rebounding absolutely killed any momentum Dallas could muster. When this shot from Brown goes up, Drew pulls the old Tyson Chandler trick and taps the ball back out to Tatum so he can score on the second chance opportunity. On this play, Drew sets not one, but two screens to get Luka in the action, and when the shot goes up, watch him fight to get around Derrick Jones Jr. and grab this rebound over both Lively and Josh Green. This time it's Drew and Derek White who both crash the offensive glass while Luka gets caught ball watching. And it's these little plays that made the biggest difference in Boston's blowout victory. In the last video, I talked about how Dallas's 12 offensive rebounds in Game 4 were the most in the entire series and could be an attack point for the Mavs in the future. Well, last night, Boston topped that with 15 boards. In Game 2, I talked about how Boston putting a player in the dunker spot on Tatum's drives opened up some of his playmaking, and last night we saw that again with Drew Holiday hovering around there, and Tatum had his best playmaking game of the entire series. In Game 2, it was Tatum's playmaking that impacted the game in ways deeper than the box score suggests, and last night his playmaking was magnificent, headlined by this gorgeous kickout to Brown for 3. Despite Tatum's finishing problems earlier in the series, he had everything going for him last night at the rim. Tatum's most glaring flaw has been his finishing through contact, so it was only right that he had this gorgeous contact layup and a primal scream to all the raucous fans. Boston's shooting disappeared for the last 3 games of this series, shooting just 31% from 3 in the last 3 games. So again, it was only right that they would find the stroke when they needed it most. And with Porzingis being relatively ineffective in his return, it was the old man Al Horford who held down the fort with his key defense and scoring, ending what was the second longest streak of playoff games without a title. And of course, as coincidences have it, Peyton Pritchard in his limited minutes would follow up his half-court buzzer beater in Game 2 with yet another one in Game 5. This whole season, we've marveled at the dominance of this Boston team, and despite legitimate questions about if they could ever get over the hump, it was only right that the most efficient offense we've ever seen, that's also an elite switchable defense perfect for the modern game, is led by a coach with innovative approaches and embodies a gritty, selfless team to break through and make history. On the night of the last championship the Celtics won back in 2008, the green and white can once again call themselves winners. So, despite the blood, sweat, tears, and broken teeth, this Celtics team can now call themselves champions, which, if you ask me, is the cherry on top of what has been one of the most dominant seasons we've ever seen. Thank you so much for watching this video and for making it through this NBA season with me. If you've made it to the end, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. Now that the season is over, my content will be making a shift towards the WNBA, but I will be posting a few NBA videos on historical players during the offseason. If you're interested, give me a follow and let me know which players you would like me to do a review on. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.